let's talk about the press conference that started this all. Obviously, the Mikey Garcia versus Jessie Vargas finalized official February 29th in Texas. And I gotta say, it's weird how they're promoting this as like the next Morales Pereira. Like, I just don't see it. I don't know how Jessie Vargas has gotten that reputation as either one of those guys.
And I love Mikey, but Mikey ain't either one of those guys either.
No.
Morales and Pereira are legends, like legendary fighters.
I can't. But this is a good fight. I mean, like, I think this is, in my mind, this is a mercenary tune-up by Mikey Garcia's camp inside. They're going to go collect a scalp in Jessie Vargas that, while not a huge scalp, is a middling scalp. He's the B-level guy that you sort of build up your resume to make it a little more expansive, so to speak, right? You don't have just a few good names and then a bunch of tune-ups. You need some B-level guys on the mix, too. And Jessie Vargas is one of those guys, is definitely a tune-up, in my opinion, and he's getting paid a massive amount for it. So I respect the hustle. I just, I know what it is. I definitely am curious, obviously, to talk more about Pacquiao Garcia and how there is a 2-fight deal with the Saudi Arabia investors, government, whatever it may be, for 2 shows a year, and they want specifically, Eddie Hearn said this in our interview, that they want the Manny Pacquiao Mikey Garcia fight for summertime, whenever it is in 2020, and that's the big fight they want, and that's the big fight that they're planning for 2020. Speaking of DAZN, Gary, obviously thoughts on Mikey versus Jessie being official, it being in Texas, and obviously the planned Pacquiao Mikey Garcia fight in potentially Saudi Arabia in 2020.
I think Texas is a good place for it, but Vargas is from Vegas, so that would have been a good place for it. And Mikey's from California, so that would have been a good place for it too. But I'm happy it's in Texas. I'm happy they're coming to my state, even though I won't be able to make it. Would have actually worked out better had they put it in California, because it would have been out there. But
I was kind of hoping that too, to be honest.
I mean, it's a fine fight. Like, we said Jessie's a top 15, 147 pounder. I think he's a little bit better than you do. So but we're going to find out about Mikey. Can Mikey beat the top 15 guys in this weight class? I think he can. I just don't think he can beat Spence or Thurman. And that's probably it. Yeah, and Crawford. But I think that he'll be in there with everyone. Like, I would pick him to beat Danny. So Porter's kind of iffy.
Who for Mikey?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean beats Mikey. Danny is the one where you can maybe argue that he beats Danny. But even then, like, I wouldn't mind seeing a Mikey Garcia, Sergey Lipinets too. Like, Lipinets has been looking good. Yeah, 147. That'd be interesting. But digressing from that point, Mikey's definitely in that, like, 7, 8, 9, 10 position in the division.
I don't understand. Why does he go to 40 and fight Josh Taylor? That's a great fight. Do that fight. Like, why is he staying at 47 where he doesn't belong?
Interesting. Regis Progress manager, Sam Katalski, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. He was there at the press conference. I think Manuk Akopyan from LA Times and Boxing Scene reported this as well, that Regis Progress and that team, obviously Sam being there, they're trying to angle for the winner of this fight as well. Like, Regis Progress is trying to get in here and get in the mix with Mike Garcia or Jessie Vargas. So don't be surprised to see a return to 140 for maybe Mikey, or a most likely one of those 140 pounders just moving up outright and going straight to 147 pounds.
Taylor's so big, he's going to have to move at some point, right? It's like Spencer's going to have to leave 47. Like, Taylor can't stay at 40.
We're going to talk about Taylor later. And
who would you pick in that fight, Taylor versus Mikey?
Mikey.
I think I picked Taylor, but it's okay.
Like, I would pick Mikey against Regis.
I would pick Mikey against Regis too.
I'll pick Mikey against any of the 140 pounders, to be honest.
Ramirez?
Yeah. 100% against Ramirez.
Barrios.
Stop. Akhmadov is getting robbed for not getting that rematch. But anyways, speaking of DAZN and how they're going to afford some of these big events, I mean, obviously Saudi Arabia is going to be used to offset some of these costs going forward for some of these big nights for DAZN, a la Joshua Ruiz 2, maybe Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia. I expect that site fee to sort of, again, offset most of the costs from DAZN to where they're not, losing money end over end because Manny Pacquiao is going to be asking for double what Canelo is asking for or whatever it may be, right? Like, that's just the nature of the ballgame now that DAZN has to pay these guys an exorbitant amount. How they're going to do that? Similar to Bob Arum taking Jose Ramirez and Victor Postal to China. What's the biggest site fee out there? What's the biggest check I can get? It used to be Vegas, but clearly that is shifting in a bit. And I would not be surprised to see a Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia fight, whether it's with PBC, whether it's with DAZN, be in Saudi Arabia. I would not be surprised at all. Gary, thoughts?
That is highly unfortunate. I mean, you're probably right. They got. We're just talking about how they're losing money. They got to make money back somehow. So, Saudi Arabia, it is. Saudi Arabia has the biggest bag. Saudi Arabia.
It is what it is, man.
But like, doesn't that come with a ton of expenses? Like, don't you think those guys need security? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the bag's the biggest, but like, isn't it the biggest expenditure too?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it would definitely be a bigger expenditure than maybe some, like, if it's a U.S. company and working locally in either L.A. or New York, where you probably have most of your production crew and company. Yes. But the money you're making is so much more, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, when you're making a site fee of, let's say, $1 million in New York, comparative to $75 million.
I guess if it, yeah.
You know, like that jump up. You know, people think 175 is not that big of a. No, that is such a massive jump up that whatever cost is going to be increased, it more than enough pays for it. I think that's really the deal. Especially if those numbers we're hearing are true from like Ruiz, Joshua, the WWE. If those numbers are true, and I'm assuming a Pacquiao Garcia fight, the numbers being thrown around are massive as well, then yeah, I think everyone's taken care of. That's why everyone's so happy and jolly and acts like the company's. I mean, act like the country's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That money is nice.
Yeah, I mean, if they're giving you that much compared to what Vegas or New York is giving you, then they're going to go there. I mean, you don't have to. You could say no, but they're not gonna, especially when they're losing money elsewhere. So they have to make the money back somewhere. So it's going to be Saudi Arabia.